My name is Melanie Magsaysay, and I just had the privilege of having an interview with Keith Andrew. It was a pleasant experience. I've never done any kind of personal interview like this, so it was very insightful. He was great at communicating, great at questions, and I really had a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the brand new series of the KeithAndrewNetWork. This is episode 500. In a way to kick it off, I have a beautiful woman with me, and what a way to kick off season 500 in a big way. Now, with that being said, the message is still the same, the whole point of my talk show, and if you can pick it up, I'm a bad fart. So the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something, and at the same time I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them you can still amount to something. So hashtag break the labels. And it's freedom of speech, self-expression, so I'm keeping the uncensored theme. So for uncensored, freedom of I can't speak. Uncensored, freedom of speech, self-expression, get up, walk around, drink some water if you want to. This is your time. You can ask me anything you want. I have nothing to hide. And starting off, what can you tell us about yourself? How's life growing up?
Well, I don't know if you know this, Keith, but I am in New York City as well. I think you're kind of around the area now. Maybe in Long Island?
I'm more near West Point, near Sunset Valley. Have you ever been to Woodbury Commons?
No, I have not.
Put on your things to do list, and we can spend a day together if you like.
Yeah, I've heard of the place, but I have not yet had a chance to go up there. I'm currently in Astoria, Queens.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and I've been here full time around 5 years. I currently work in executive recruiting in Manhattan in financial services. I do project management. I've been doing that for, I would say, almost 2 years. And prior to that, I was at a trading firm for almost 2 years as well.
Yeah, nice. Well, if you're ever up in the area, we should definitely hang out or something. Or if I'm ever in the city or being interviewed, we can probably work something out. But I don't want to impose on you. I do apologize. Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, you mentioned you were from Chicago.
Yep.
Chicago, Illinois, and everyone who's a big wrestling fan knows that's the home of, well, now it's the home of CM Punk, but also it's the home of the Legion of Doom.
I did not know that. I have not followed wrestling. I know The Rock and the Hulk and China. I think that's her name. Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I know them, but that's about it. I did not know that those other people were in Chicago.
Well, you can't beat the classics, right? Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, did you ever do any sports growing up? And were you... Actually, I was going to ask you the other part, but I just remembered. You wanted to... my brain fart. So, growing up, did you do any sports? Did you like basketball? Did you do soccer?
Growing up, my dad wanted us to actually play basketball, but we didn't. I was actually in gymnastics for a few years, and then I stopped, and not through like school. I was in like cheerleading, and then later on in my life, I got into boxing a little bit. Amateur boxing, and now I do adult tumbling in the city.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When I was growing... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Nope, that's That's the only sports I've done. I was never really seriously into any kind of sport for a long period of time.
You probably, if you see my interviews, you probably know what the next question I was going to ask you is, trying to say with a straight face, have you ever gotten the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or you're not into the whole human pyramids stuff?
Human pyramids as in cheerleading, like when they lift people?
Oh, kind of, but it's more like kneeling on top of each other and forming the shape of the pyramid.
Yeah, actually have. In cheerleading, we've done like just only 3 people where 2 people are on the bottom and then 1 person goes on the top. That's about as high as I've ever gone.
Do you like that stuff, or it's kind of your forte?
I don't do it anymore, but it was fun back then when I was younger.
Would you ever be up for it?
For human pyramids? Probably not at my age. I don't want to really break any bones. It would be hard to get around the city with a broken leg or something.
That's true. But you did say you do tumbling, so it's pretty much...
Yeah, that's actually true, yeah.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it, right?
True.
So what gets you interested in doing tumbling, and does that help you with your acting career?
Well, I like tumbling because I've always followed gymnastics. I watch a lot of college gymnastics and USA gymnastics. So I've followed that for the past couple years. So I don't know. Ever since the Rio Olympics, I really wanted to start tumbling again. So I just started.
Now, before I ask you about the acting career, I want to go back to the gymnastics real fast. And you mentioned you did gymnast. Sorry, I don't know why it's so hard to get out. Have you ever wanted to be a professional at it, or were you just doing it for fun?
Now that I'm older, I wish I would have been professional. But I mean, there's no going back. But yeah, I wish I could have done it more seriously.
Well, you're never too old for what you love. If you still have it and it makes you happy, you go over and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
The next question I was going to ask you is, how many years have you been acting, and who influenced you to get into the whole acting business?
Well, I'm not in acting. I'm not in
you were.
No, I'm not in acting. When I was younger, I did like some little things for like print modeling, but nothing ever like serious.
Well, have you ever, because you're in a perfect position, you're in the city, have you ever thought about doing a New York casting?
No, I don't think, no. I think just because it's so saturated, maybe, that I would be wasting my time trying to get into acting. So I've never really given it any kind of thought.
Alright. What about trying to ask you a good question? Actually, I'm not perfect time to go back to my book. So I want to ask you, because when I did my season 1 and 2, I went to the book, and then I did season 4. I went back to it. But, let's just have some fun on it. So
is that your like interview book of questions?
Pretty much. A little of everything. So I'm going to ask you a couple of words, and then you can ask me at the same time. I'm trying to do it. Like I said, I have been working all this weekend, so my mind's just trying to get used to the new job. So when someone says to you, ambitious, and with everything you accomplish in your career, do you think the word ambitious is one of the words in your category, how you would describe yourself?
I definitely would say ambitious, just because I've gone through a few different types of careers. I've been in a few different types of positions after school, so I would say I've definitely kept my head above water with what I was given and my experience being younger. So I would definitely say yes, I'm ambitious, and I've been called a gopher before, which I didn't know what it was, but apparently it's like a go-getter type of person. So yeah, I would say that.
Well, I think go-getter is better than golfer.
Yeah, I know. I don't. My boss used to call me that, so kind of stuck in my head.
What about, let's see, looking for a good one. All right, this one's perfect because you work in an office. Aware of your current situation, do you make the best out of every little thing? Like, say, I don't, I'm, okay, for us to give me an example of an example, you work in an office or a cubicle?
I work in an office.
All
Not
right,
so much a cubicle.
so with that being said, aware of the situation, how do you turn a shitty situation into a positive one, and how do you always come out on top?
Um, I would say just being grateful for where I live. Situations can always be worse on the other end. Living in Chicago, I've always thought of that the grass was greener on the other side, such as living in New York, and it's definitely a lot harder, a lot more work and more stress, but I'm grateful because I see every day all the tourists and people that dream to come at least visit here for a weekend, and I'm grateful at the end of the day that I get to live here.
No, absolutely. Now, like I said, I'm going to pass the show over to you and once we come back from the commercial break. But before we do that, two subjects I'd like to talk to you about. Second one is, like I said, don't mind me, it's been a long weekend. So having a brain fart. Second question I was going to ask you is, have you ever worked with people with learning disabilities? And would you be willing to work with people with disabilities?
Yeah, I actually, in Chicago, used to volunteer at Gigi's Playhouse, which is a little bit different from learning disabilities. It's a playhouse for children and teens with Down syndrome. And also for the past 3 summers, I volunteered at the Disability Pride Parade. So I've done that, but that's the extent of my experience.
Yeah, nice. And also, you're helping me with the talk, so that's also good experience as well. Just want to pat myself on the back for that. Now, the next one is social media. And the first question I always usually say this for the end, but while we're in the subject, what are some of your favorite websites? Number one, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We met on Instagram, so apparently you're on there. But Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, what are some of the websites that you would recommend? And on the subject, social media, do you think social media can make you or break you?
I guess it depends how you use social media. I don't really post a lot of pictures onto Instagram, which is the app that I'm most on. I wouldn't say that I post many personal things often, maybe a post every couple weeks. But I definitely think that people abuse it, and it can ruin relationships or reputations if you don't use it the correct way.
Oh, can you give us a perfect example?
I don't know about a perfect example, but I do see a lot of, younger girls being influenced by girls that are into fit modeling and having an unattainable vision of what they think that they should look like, and it's not reality.
No, I agree with you. My other question I was going to ask you is, how do you feel about the retail market? Do you think the online shopping's killing the in-store customers? So I give you an example. I won't mention the name, but actually I can, they're out of business now. I worked at Toys R Us, and they went out of business. Do you think it's because they didn't evolve with the times, or do you think it's going to be like, why should I leave the house? I can just press a button and things will be sent to me. You think people are going to become hermits and social media is going to take off, or do you think that the retail market will suffer from it?
I think the retail market has definitely suffered from it. It's everything nowadays is all about being easily accessible and fast. and instant like gratifications. So I feel like it's more, it's easier just to click a button, go online instead of getting dressed, getting out, walking, taking the subway, or driving to the store to pick something out. And also, I think that there's a lot better, there's better deals online than there are in store, from my own experience.
Now, what do you think the retail market will ever disappear completely, or do you think there will always be a certain group of people that will venture out and say, we don't want to be hermits for the rest of our lives. This is what we want?
Well, I think obviously in New York City, there's always going to be a need for stores because nobody has cars and just because there's buildings everywhere. But I think like more remote places and suburbs of bigger cities, things are going to start to shut down as they have, such as Toys R Us, because it's just easier to click on your computer and it comes to your house versus you leaving your house and going out and getting it.
It's true. I agree. And now I am guilty of shopping online. But, going out, like sitting down with someone in person, it's more interactive. Like, this is interactive. And hopefully one day we get to sit down in person. But this is like one of those things where you go to social media. It's like saying, okay, you're working in an office, but you're about, 102 miles away. So it's kind of one of those things. It has its pros and its cons. Yes, it's great and it's convenient, but we're still human after all. You actually need that human contact, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it's true. I can go if I wanted to 5 days without seeing someone if I really wanted to stay in my house and not talk to anyone. It's too easy to not make human contact nowadays. I definitely agree with that.
Now, do you have any funny, before we take a commercial break, do you have any funny stories that happened to you recently? Or anything that just happened that you've turned into a funny story?
I can't think of any off the top of my head. Kind of bad with on the spot kind of questions.
Well, I can give you an example.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like I said, I won't mention the store that I'm at right now. I can tell you afterwards. But I was sitting out in front. I was like, it's funny because a while ago, let's see, today is Monday, Thursday. I was thinking, Toys R Us, it's out of business. I like this time of year because I get to sit out front in, the store and I get to play with the toys, check out all the cute girls if I walk by. And there's two funny stories. With that being said, while I'm out there checking out the good-looking women and selling the toys, I would play with a demo. And I have a warped sense of humor. You can probably pick that up. And I've always thought it was funny to mess with the people in the other stores. So I would have the remote control of, I use the cat for an example. And you have a remote and it goes everywhere. And I used to drive the car, we used the cat, drive the cat into the store, and everyone's like, what the hell is that? And just would randomly drive in, make it walk around, spin it around, and go out the store. And I'm like, yeah, let's not do that. I got yelled at. It's like, hey, I know it's funny the first couple of times, but pal, come on. Keep it out of the store.
Yeah, I'm not that adventurous to do something like that, and I don't have a remote control car. I was at the pool the other day in Brooklyn with my sister, and it's only funny to me because I know her nickname, and her name's Ramona, but I call her Pita Frablida. So, and we were at the pool and laying down. I was meeting her at the pool, and I couldn't get her on her cell phone because she didn't have her cell phone on her when she was at the pool. And So I went to the main office and I asked them to page my sister on the intercom. And it's really, really loud too. So they paged my sister, Peta Frablida, over the intercom, and no one knew what the name was but her, and she actually came. So yeah, I like to shout out her nickname all the time.
It's funny.
Yeah.
The other funny story I had, actually, while on the subject of the PA system, I used to work over at Michael's, and I used to call on the walk-in. They would occasionally ignore me, like they always do. And so there's like a line of people. I'm like, how do you page someone over the intercom? And I don't like how I sound because my voice is kind of squeaky. And so I went over the phone and I echoed. It's like, yeah, can we get some customer service? But I was thinking, if I really wanted to have fun with it, I could throw my voice like, hi, this is Chief at customer service. Can the manager come over to the front? Thank you. I think it's like you can't have fun with it because they don't have a sense of humor. But let's do like something like that. Hey, yo, boo boo, get it up to the front.
Wow, you sound alike.
Well, do you like impressions?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I will do the top 5 impressions that you can name them, and you can see if I'm able to do them. Well, who do you like?
Anyone from Family Guy. I like those ones. Those are funny.
Unfortunately, I can't do any of those.
What about a wrestler? Can you do a wrestler?
Let's see.
The Rock.
He's hard to do. I was able to do Randy Savage, and I was able to do Paul Bear.
Randy Savage.
Oh yeah, not so mean Randy Savage is here. Yeah, it hurts my phone when I do it. It's like, yeah, we're going to Candle. How can I help you today? I haven't done it, so it's really hard to do that.
That was a good one.
I can
trying to think who else.
Do you like Yogi Bear?
Yeah, I haven't watched it forever.
I used to do his voice for the high school radio show. It's like, hey, boo boo, hey, the next up, we're gonna listen to us. So I can.
It's pretty good.
I appreciate it. I always like to make you laugh. I can do Yogi Bear. It's a combination of Ray Romano and number 2 from the Venture Brothers. It's like, hey, come on, I just went to the mall today and bought you deodorant. You know already you're using it. Come on, why can't you just do it yourself? It's only $6. You know, it's Ray Romano. I can do the guy from Banana Man. Actually, no, that's someone else. Let's see. Banana, well, Kazam! Chappelle!
Who was that? Banana Man?
Well, there's a guy in Banana Man that does it.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with Banana Man.
It's an old cartoon. It's really funny. It's like, oh, when Eric eats a banana, he turns into Banana Man. It's like one of those corny 80s cartoons. Do you like Snagglepuss?
I don't know who that is.
See, it's Snagglepuss. I'm trying to remember. Exit, Steve Steven. He just woke up Snagglepuss. He's a pink cat with the collar.
Like the Pink Panther?
He's similar to the Pink Panther, but he's pink.
Oh, okay.
So let's see. I do Ray Romano, Yogi Bear. I can do. What are you doing today? Oh, that sounds really nice. And I wanted to do that to Yankee Candle. I was like, hi, welcome to Yankee Candle. Is there a candle you're looking for today? And that's like messing with people. It's a lot of fun.
That's really funny.
With that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And with the last 8 minutes left, I will pass the show over to you. And you can ask me anything you want. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 500. That was a horrible shot of me. I know I have a fat neck. Welcome back to episode 500 of Season 6. And we're on the road to 600. I'm here as a good friend, the beautiful and talented Melanie. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. And I forgot what the...
Your funny story?
Oh, not the funny story. PETA for PETA? What was it?
Oh, PETA for Blida.
PETA for Blida. Doing a real shout out for PETA for Blida. Thank you for supporting me, and you're more than welcome to be on the show. Now, with that being said, my brother likes to give me a hard time for my show, and because I don't shut up. So it's like, listen to Keith talk. It's kind of like white noise, because every time he talks, I hear, and it's like, that's really freaking annoying. Everyone thinks it's hysterical. It's like, I just tune him out after a while. I just pretend he's white noise.
I do the same with my sister.
So, at least we have that in common, right? Now, with that being said, I'm going to pass the show over to you. You can ask me anything you want. You're supporting a good message, good cause, plus you're making a new friend out of it. And I'm going to pass the show over to you.
Okay, well, since this is your 500th episode, I'm just curious to know a couple things about your interviewing. First, how do you find the people that you're interviewing? Do they reach out to you, or do you reach out to them?
It's a combination of the two. Throw myself under a bus. I like Asian girls, so I'm like, how can I cater to every single person out there? Now, I need to be whites, blacks, Spanish, Asian, Indians, Muslims, people with disabilities, people without disabilities, men, women. I'm starting to interview kids, but, I was always against it. Now I'm like, well, if I want my demographics to be for all ages, I need to get myself out there. So, it all started when... Give me the long story, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
When I started in 2013, don't ask me, unless I had a quarter for every time I said this. When I first started, I wanted to work with Blog Talk Radio. And they wanted like $40 a month, and I'm like, well, I'm starting out, I really don't have those episodes. So I did 72 phone interviews. And I got people from The Amazing Spider-Man, X-Men, Dragon Ball Z. And they said to me, you have this great format. Why aren't you as big or bigger than you portray yourself to be? Why don't you have people helping you? Why don't you have sponsors? Well, would you like to help me? I said, no, if you can't do it yourself, it's not meant to be. Alright. So one guy said to me, do it over and try a different format, try video. And I was doing... The reason for the show is it helps me with my people skills, helps me interact with people, feel more confident about myself, and it's just therapy for myself. Therapy, making a new friend, and you're showing people it's a disability, you can still amount to something. But the reason I went to video instead of audio, I was still having, anxiety. It's like, I'm talking on the phone, and I hate talking on the phone. But I'm talking on the phone, and I'm having a freaking panic attack. It's like I feel like a wuss. So why am I doing that? And so I got up to Illinois, and that's another thing that antagonizes me. I got up to 300, and it's before the permission forms. And it's like, later on, I got 300, and I got my belt, so I can explain that in a minute. So I got my belt, and little by little they were saying to me, my agent said, my publicist said, you ask a lot of stupid questions, we don't want to be seen with people like you, you're degrading, I thought you were a joke, I didn't really think if you were taking it seriously, I thought, if I helped someone like you, it would give me more exposure for my career. And you watch season 1 and season 2, is what you see on the camera. Now there you go. How you see on the camera, that's what I picked up. So this was the camera, do reflection and this would pick up your image because
Oh,
I originally did not want to be seen. And then season 2 was okay. Here's the camera. I'm recording directly from the computer screen. And someone said to my brother, he said, he has a good message, but he really needs to change his video quality because right now you're taking it as a joke. If he really wants to do this, he needs to get himself out there. So now I can't. If I see an opportunity, I jump right into it. Now it's cut in half. I'm on the right, you're on the left, or I'm gonna flip it. You're on the right, I'm on the left, whatever. Or you can always interview me. And I'm showing you the process, from the phone, from, the recording directly from the phone. See, from the audios don't count. So those are the demo years. In a way, I had 2 demo years. I had the audio, didn't work for me, I threw them out. And then I had the phone year, so I had from the phone, recording from the camera, to the split screen, to about, I don't know, I tried using Zoom, but it shows everything in the back. Right now, at least I can cut it off, so it looks professional. And I don't know, I guess when I have my own place, I can probably do Zoom. But I'm showing you, for 5 years, I antagonizes me, but you were supposed to be episode 772, or maybe it was supposed to be 800, because when I first met the people, like I was telling you, I did not do a permission form. And that's when, my sister and my brother were saying to me, you're not copyrighted, you're not trademarked, you don't have any permission forms. So I went to a lawyer, and I said, I know you're a lawyer in California. Can I ask you a couple questions? He said, yes. And I said, do I need be copyrighted or trademarked? He's like, are you making money? No. Because that's $2,000, and you're not making money, so it's not relevant. Number 1. 2, copyrighted, you do not need to be copyrighted because you're been doing this for how many numbers of years, and you're all over all social media, so people know exactly who you are. He said your biggest mistake was you were not doing a permission form. Now, like you were doing, it's a permission form. I introduce myself, I tell you what the show's about, my phone was just distracting me. So basically, I introduce myself, I tell you what the show's about, and once you sign it, it's a done deal. And I still had people making idle threats to me. Take them down. Yeah, I didn't read it. I'm like, then why did you sign it if you didn't read it? I thought it was a joke. I said, once I will go on the record and say this. Once you sign the permission form, it's a done deal. However, if you want me to edit the video to make it more professional, and I am very professional, if you want me to look professional, make it shorter, I can do that. But I get to keep the interview. Because I'm not doing this for shits and giggles. This is what I want to do until I die. And I'm showing you the whole process. And a lot of people are like, going on and on about it. So I'm like, fine, I'll do it over. Just make them happy. So officially, it's 500. Unofficially, it's over 8. So I've done over about 800 interviews plus the demo year. So that's 872 episodes and people who I met. Some of them, like you, we became friends. And some of them are like, yeah, no. So it's pretty much showing you, hey, look at what this kid with a disability is doing. And he's turning himself into an example. But wrapping up our talk show, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But the first one is, are you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Stage 32? Are you on any of those fun sites?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn at Melanie, Melanie, last name Magsaysay. And I have Instagram at Melanie Midtown. Same with Facebook, first, last name. I don't do Twitter, unfortunately.
You should get on that. Twitter is pretty good. It's better. Better than Snapchat, I'll say that much.
Yeah, I don't really use Snapchat either.
Now, my last question before you wrapping up is when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction and what made you say yes?
I was actually excited because I have watched a few of your episodes. So I was honored to have you ask me to be on your show.
Yeah, you're supporting a good cause and making a new friend out of it.
Yes.
Stay tuned. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, for anyone who wants to submit questions for the show, email me at KeithAndrewNetwork@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at KeithAndrew88, Instagram at the KeithAndrewNetwork, and my Facebook fan page. Yeah, actually, that's another subject I was going to talk to you about, YouTube, but we can save it for next time. But yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Stage 32. I'm like, some people call me like a can of hemorrhoids because I'm always got to pop up somewhere. But with that being said, don't mind me. I try to have fun with everyone. No filter. But with that being said, it was a real honor, and I look forward to part 2.
Thank you.